Today we are going to explain a key flexibility feature introduced in PCI MPoC version 1.1, vendor verification. Vendor verification is a specialized acceptance path that allows a PCI-recognized MPoC software vendor to verify the secure integration of their own listed MPoC SDK into a candidate MPoC application or another MPoC SDK. Previously, under MPoC 1.0, every time an integrator developed an app using an MPoC SDK, they had to engage an MPoC laboratory for a full integration evaluation to get the product listed. Now, MPoC 1.1 offers an alternative route. It streamlines the process by removing the need for direct interaction between the integrator and the lab for the integration portion. Instead, the recognized SDK vendor takes full responsibility for confirming that the integrator has strictly followed the required security guidance. To utilize the vendor verification path, 3 strict prerequisites of the MPoC SDK must be met to maintain the security integrity of the solution. The source SDK must be validated by a secure laboratory as an isolating MPoC SDK. It must prove that it isolates memory and sensitive assets, such as account data and keys, from the integrating app at all times. Non-isolating SDKs are ineligible for vendor verification. The SDK must implement all required secure channels. While the integrating app may configure aspects of these channels, the app must not implement its own secure channels for payment host connections. The source SDK must be standalone and not integrate another MPoC SDK. It must be a clean primary building block. Beyond the SDK's traits, the vendor itself must be qualified. The software vendor must undergo a laboratory assessment under MPoC requirement 1G-1.12. This confirms the vendor has the necessary processes, tools, and expertise to perform secure evaluations against domain 2A requirements. The vendor is also asked to provide 2 integration reports on both correct and incorrect integration examples. Once everything passes, they become a PCI-recognized MPoC vendor. So what are the Domain 2A requirements about? The core of vendor verification is to ensure the security boundary of the MPoC SDK remains uncompromised during integration. Requirements exist to identify that the MPoC SDK being used is a legitimate, listed version. Furthermore, they confirm the integration strictly follows the vendor's security guidance and verify that no security features are modified, circumvented, or added outside the SDK's control. In vendor verification scenarios, specific requirements are modified to ensure the integrating app does not implement its own secure channels or access sensitive memory space. Let's now look at the workflow of the verification process. We call the integrator the requesting vendor and the MPoC SDK provider the verifying vendor. To start, the requesting vendor grants the verifying vendor permission to assess their product. The verifying vendor then evaluates the integration against Domain 2A and produces an integration report. Once all requirements are met, the verifying vendor pays the vendor-verified integration fee to PCI SSC and submits the report via the portal. After review, PCI SSC updates the listing and assigns a unique reference number to the new application. Regarding the listing, vendor-verified products are added as sub-elements to an existing MPoC product listing rather than having an individual page. Usually they are listed under the same MPoC SDK listing page. It is also possible to be listed under MPoC service or solution pages if they fully satisfy Domain 5 requirements. Once listed, the product achieves vendor-verified status. This status is valid for a maximum of 3 years or until the expiration of the underlying MPoC product it depends on, whichever is shorter. To maintain this status, the verifying vendor must confirm all vendor verification processes performed during the last 12 months as part of their own annual checkpoint with an MPoC laboratory. To conclude, vendor verification is a win-win. It reduces the time to market for integrators and reinforces the authority of SDK vendors as security experts. It is the engine that drives the modular ecosystem of MPoC 1.1. Follow REEKON for more insights on PCI MPoC and payment security. See you in next video!